and welcome back. Today, it's all about Beam Me Up, Scotty. Over 60 years ago, we remember Star Trek and later on Star Wars, when you could be anywhere in the universe. AI was commonplace, and today it still is. So we want to welcome David Nussbaum. David is the tinker, the incredible innovator, the talent and the CEO behind Proto. What's Proto? Proto is the hottest thing everywhere. And David makes it look so easy, and it's just right there. In fact, it's you anywhere. So David invented Proto in 2018, and it's had its first public appearance in the Saturn Awards and Comic-Con. So it's always been about entertainment ties and being around in healthcare and finance and education and fashion and retail and manufacturing and more. And previous TV has David and Proto on Ellen DeGeneres and CBS Big Brother and so many other shows, fashion shows, entertainment with stars, celebrity, the NFL, baseball, and everything else. So we are so excited to have David Nussbaum, Mr. Proto, on The Look today. David, thank you for being here and welcome to TheLookTV.
That was the greatest introduction of all time. I got to be honest with you. If things don't work out for you here on The Look, you have a job waiting for you at Proto.
Wow.
Because that was insane, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Proto. Thank you. Wow.
That was terrific.
That is wonderful.
I appreciate that. Yes. You know, our beginning, my background is in entertainment and in broadcasting. So it was the transition from that into kind of holographic entertainment definitely required a bit of marketing. So yeah, the Saturn Awards and Comic-Con, those are super low-hanging fruit types of places, you know, putting Proto technology in lobbies of movie theaters or on stages to beam in celebrities for meet and greets and other marketing events. Absolutely the smartest way that we could think of to introduce ourselves to the world. And we still get to do a lot of fun entertainment stuff, but now we're a real technology company. As you evolve things, you know, now, you know, Amazon and all of these other companies, all of these technology companies say, wait a second, maybe there really is something to this.
So David, tell us a little bit, not only about you, but tell us what got you tinkering, thinking about, and in 2018, wow, we have Proto. It didn't happen overnight. This was great technology really before its time. I know some other companies are doing this around the world, not certainly quite like you, but how did we get here?
Yeah, my background is in broadcasting. I'm a broadcasting communications guy. Since the late 90s, I've been working for a bunch of radio stations all over the country. Probably the biggest ones were CBS Broadcasting in New York and Los Angeles. All I ever wanted to do was be on the radio. I want to be a broadcaster. When a small group of people and I helped move CBS and other smaller radio stations move from traditional and ancient and analog terrestrial radio into digital. So we brought a lot of the digital world into from the past into the future. That led me into a world of podcasting. I started a podcast company in 2006, probably 8 or 10 years before the podcast boom happened. So again, I was one of the first 1,000 podcasts on the Apple platform, and I met a guy on my podcast who owned these rarely used patents that were later used famously to put Tupac on stage at Coachella in 2012. So my old company, prior to Proto, I co-founded an entertainment company that we were known for bringing a lot of late legends back to posthumously perform. So although my background was in broadcasting, I was now in the hologram business, but never could I stop thinking about my passion for communication. So after a few years, I decided, what if instead of bringing back the dead, I used holograms to connect the living. And so that's why Proto was born in my living room in 2018.
That's great. And while we are looking at it, we see this incredible, looks like an artwork moving in three-dimensional behind you. And I think you mentioned this is one of the mainstays in Big Brother on CBS. So could you talk a little bit about that? And I'm sure we're going to get into Big Brother, so maybe we can do a little fast forward and talk about Proto and on one of the biggest TV shows, reality shows of the world, 25 years going. It's like
Absolutely.
Survivor.
I think there's a great place for it. This year she answered my call, and then she made us part of not just the season, but the glue that holds the whole season together, the twist, the AI twist that brings it all together. And yeah, this helix, this golden spiral helix statue is playing 24 hours a day inside of the Big Brother house. And it only goes away when one of the AI house guests or when one of the AI characters that we've worked very much in hand with the Big Brother producers on, when that avatar materializes, the helix goes away, and then the house goes into chaos typically after that.
David, so is this green screen somewhere else, and then you have the large Proto, box or whatever? How does that work? Can you give us a little bit with the technology? Because we see this and we might see, wow, this is in this box, three-dimensional. So maybe for our viewers, tell us a little bit of the deep dive on how this technology works and how you kind of do it.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, so I'll make it easy for people to understand. I'll just put my buddy Howie Mandel in there just so you can see.
Hi.
Hey, Howie, look, it's Andrew. He's so the box, just so for scale, just so you can see, it is human size. This is a 7-foot tall, 4.5-foot wide, 2-foot deep holoportation machine. Beams anybody from anywhere to anywhere into unlimited locations in live. It was live. It's real time. It's like he's there. He could be anywhere in the world, and he could be in multiple places at the exact same time. He happens to be pre-recorded. So we scanned him with any 4K camera and we populate this display with his holographic projection. It appears real. The shadows are real. There's reflections on the floor. It's like he's there. It doesn't have to be a box, though. I can show you really quickly. It could be built into a wall, like our friend Paris Hilton here. So
Hi,
it
Paris.
doesn't have to be a box. It could be just a window into another world. And the displays are human size. So if you're 6'3", you appear 6'3". We wanted to make this as real as possible because, although we've been promised holograms from Star Wars, even still, this helped me Obi-Wan Kenobi. It wasn't very real looking, was it? It was a very cool movie effect, but I wanted it to look like Howie Mandel is standing in the room with me, and that is the effect that we wanted, and that is the effect that we got. Last season, we were on the Kardashians. We put one of the big displays in, and we also, like in the Big Brother house or like on the Kardashians, tabletop displays. The Proto M stands 1/5 scale of the big one. It's about 21 inches tall, and it's like a Honey, I Shrunk the Hologram or Mike TV from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So we've shrunk you down into a tabletop-sized version of yourself. Those are being used in malls and in museums and on children's desks at school. We're in a lot of colleges and universities, galleries, and they're being used quite a bit as end cap for marketing and retail solutions. I believe that is how we go from the boardroom into the living room. People have been talking about holograms in their homes for years. Let's revisit this conversation in 18 months. I believe I will have a sub $1,000 holoportation device in your home that controls your entertainment, your education, your information. It's got AI, it's your smart display, and it's not just another display in your home. I believe this will be the smart hub that controls all of your devices. it is you. It is your your entire body. It's your nonverbal cues. It's your body language. It really helps you tell a story. It's like the doctor and the patient are having a face-to-face communication. It's in courtrooms right now, in the sense that it is the ultimate remote witness testimony vehicle. No longer do you have to face your perpetrator. If you're a victim of some terrible assault, maybe you might feel uneasy being in the same room with this person. So you could beam in, give your testimony, and beam out without any additional emotional or physical damage that you may have to deal with. So military families, this is a real incredible tool to create not just communications, but everlasting connections. Beam me up, Scotty. Here we go. There he is.
Wow. William Shatner. Hi.
William Shatner, welcome to the
my
show.
Idol.
Yes.
Hi, William. We love you.
I'm booking your whole show with nothing but A-listers. So that's what,
what
William
celebrity?
Shatner calls me up about a year and a half ago and says, I'm not going to do the Shatner impression, but he says, I made beaming people places famous, and you actually do it for real. I have a gig in Sydney, Australia that I don't want to fly to from Los Angeles. Can you beam me there? And we did. We beamed him from LA to Sydney, 8,000 miles away. He gave a keynote speech on stage in front of hundreds of marketing and advertising executives. He did some Q&A, and there was a moderator on stage that opened the show with him. He beamed in. He beamed out. He was home in time for breakfast. 93 years old. And he said afterwards, he said, you don't have a hologram company. This is a time machine company. You just saved me like 6 days of travel and wear and tear. So it was really great. I really appreciate it.
David, remember, we saw him a couple years ago on Shark Week. He was
That's
so
right.
Cool, right?
He is the best.
He's incredible.
He is incredible.
He's gone everywhere. So since the Look TV is everything fashion, beauty, and retail, help us out with fashion. I mean, I can think of fashion shows that people can see from anywhere around the world. Bring in designers that maybe couldn't get there, or have such great designers appear who you never imagined anywhere. So I know you've worked with New York Fashion Week and with designers, and here we are.
Look, you do the play-by-play and I'll do the color, right? So this is, you can imagine replacing all of even the bad for the environment plastic mannequins and marketing materials in a storefront window with holographic fashion shows. So with the snap of a finger, you can have any look, any new season can have a whole new holographic display, and you no longer need to use your imagination to see what an outfit might look like on you. Or a loved one or somebody else. You can now see it for yourself, illuminated in every single color in the world, and it really brings it to life. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
To your watch and look at it anywhere in the world. I'm sure you're getting there or looking into it.
It's always, here, wait, if I put my watch right, maybe I can, so there I am, I'm beaming out of my own watch right now. No, we have some of the brightest brains in the world who work here. I would have to even say our software engineers, they're the critical backbone that they power Proto. Any one of them could work for they could work for Amazon or NASA. They choose to work for Proto, and I'm absolutely grateful for them every single day. We're constantly R&Ding hardware, new solutions, and our software that powers everything. You mentioned like an Apple Watch. Our software, our Proto OS, it's the only holographic operating system in the world. So if you have a Proto tabletop unit or a large unit or any display that we've ever made or will make, the software that powers everything can easily fleet manage it, regardless of what the device is or where it's positioned in the world.
That is so incredible. I know we've covered a lot of things. We didn't get into sports. I mean, we talked about some celebrities. I know you do things with the NBA and probably baseball, hockey, everything. So I know you're going to press a few buttons and we're going to see tennis or sports or
Caleb
things.
Williams, the number one draft pick this year in the NFL. So he beamed in. He had just gotten drafted by the Bears. He was drafted in Detroit. That's where they did the draft. So minutes after he got drafted, we beamed him to Soldier Field in front of thousands of brand new fans that all went absolutely bananas for the guy. So it was great. And this was live. When this happened live, there were journalists on stage and they were interviewing him in real time. And it was like everything Back to the Future and the Jetsons promised us, except Proto delivering it.
We are not a political show at all, but I'm just thinking in this sort of divisive nation we're in with politics, that how much you could do beaming in one of the presidential candidates to, or a senator or a congressperson to a debate or to an auditorium or to an arena that people can see. You don't have to worry about getting there and running people down and all the things that happen, and security, and we know what happened recently, and how safe it will be, and people can watch anytime in their home or on device and whatever and still get the same message without being there.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, for us, this is about safety. Easily the safest way to travel. It is also one of the least expensive forms of travel. Not only is it good for the environment, but if we're talking about beaming a politician, maybe somebody who's running for president in this United States or outside in a different country, that requires a lot of planning, a lot of traveling, a lot of wear and tear on a person's body. For some reason, politicians, they keep getting older and older, so it's harder for those really hard to travel scenarios. And think about all of the security measures that have to go in place. The teams of security have to go there. They have to do sweeps of. You beam in, you get your message out there, and you beam out.
Using Proto and AI, maybe with a celebrity, maybe somebody needing to reach out to somebody. I mean, during COVID, I could think how this would have been so incredible. And I know you were starting around that time. It could have changed the lives of probably 1 million people. So many people died during that time, didn't get to see their loved one, maybe over their WhatsApp or their smartphone if they could do it. But could you tell us maybe one or two really stories that really maybe affected you or changed the way that you're doing Proto or looking at this or changing things for all of us?
Had I started Proto a couple of years earlier, when COVID hit, I think we could have changed many more lives. The lives that I at least had some control over were my family. And during COVID, I think my 2 daughters at the time, Lucy and Frances, were like 6 and 7. And to me, I think they were the only 2 kids in the world who got to have Santa Claus that December. We beamed Santa into a Proto. My kids were able to talk to Santa mask free. And it was normal for them. It felt good because they'd been, they were Zoom schooling, and on the days that they did go in somewhere, they were all masked up and goggles, and you know how everybody did it. And so it was normal. It made them feel normal and regular for just a minute. That was absolutely terrific. Just communicate. We were connecting. We were in the same room with each other, even though we were 3,000 miles away. And it was terrific. And that's the kind of stuff that we're bringing to people now. Teachers are speaking to students from thousands of miles away. Doctors and patients are connecting in a way that they haven't been able to do that before. Military families. I mean, think about how many use cases this has to it's not just for entertainment. It is really as a means of truly connecting with people. And now with the evolution of artificial intelligence, I don't even have to beam somewhere live. My AI can just be displayed and interact with anybody, anytime, whether I'm able to physically be there or not.
Sort of a Proto assistant.
Yeah, it's a Proto assistant. Yeah, so here my AI is about to populate into the display, and it took no time. It took 2 minutes for me to just capture my essence, and I can walk up to it. I can ask me any question. It'll tell me everything. It knows much about my childhood because I've directed it towards certain areas of data that it has ingested, and it regurgitates this information in a new way. I can ask the same question tomorrow, and my AI will respond in a different way. It's constantly learning. Wild.
And this is so incredible for education. I can see elementary school kids get so excited about coming to school. You know, it reminds me when I was a kid and your teacher dressed up as George Washington and got you so excited about history. Now they're coming to school because you say, Mom, Dad, I don't know what Proto is going to be doing today in class. Or the teacher, this is so exciting. And even in college level or the graduate level or MBA students or doctoral students, this is a new way of doing education where you have the interaction that sometimes is not there in a whole new way, which is going to be so exciting.
But Loughborough University in London is using our technology quite creatively. So they're beaming people in, but they've indicated that they'd love to have Einstein come back to give a lecture. Imagine getting a 30-minute lecture from Albert Einstein, or some of the other greatest minds in the world. So these are all possible realities right now.
And this, I know at Lynn University, we're working a lot with artificial intelligence as well. And in our fashion program, how incredible would it be? Are you ready for this? Having Coco Chanel or Balenciaga, or now the late Karl Lagerfeld or Saint Laurent, who these students have heard about, never have seen. And they could be this AI portal or beam prototype that they could interact with. This would be so incredible. And what a learning experience. Can't imagine what 3 years will look like. Can you tell us a little bit what's on the drawing board for Proto? I mean, if David Nussbaum is looking into the future or asking Howie or yourself behind you, young David Nussbaum Einstein behind you, what might we see in 5 or 10 years? I mean, we don't even know what's on the drawing board, but maybe some of the things you're working on, maybe some of the other companies and tech and that you're working with or talking to, what's that, science, military, going to the moon. Maybe we could beam to even those astronauts that are on the space station that need to come back. Guess what? Proto's going to help them get back.
Sure, we'll beam you back in. Wouldn't that be cool? Beaming them back in, but that's just there. I think that the hardware will continue to evolve. Our software, Proto is a software company. We're disguised as a hologram projection company, but we're really a software company. Most of what we do is we evolve what each one of our displays does. So every 6 weeks, a new software update powers our devices so that 6 weeks from now, this will do more stuff than it does 6 weeks ago, from 6 weeks ago. So the technology will continue to evolve. We'll be, I think, pretty ubiquitous. Every time you open your eyes, much like you see an iPhone or a smartwatch or a tablet, I believe Proto will be that. I think every 15 or 20 years, something remarkable happens. No longer do we have telephone booths. No longer do our kitchens have phones stuck to their walls with cords. And, now we have smartphones and iPads and smartwatches. And I think that Proto is the technology that I think that's the next thing that really powers people's lives.
And that's incredible. David, do we have any celebrities or anybody who in the background who might want to say goodbye to us on the Look TV until we see you next time?
Celebrities that want to say goodbye to us. Sure, yeah. Goodness. I've got many of them.
Well, whoever shows up.
Let's see who shows up. Let's see who I won't get in trouble with.
Okay.
All right, here. This might get me in trouble, but let's try it out anyway. All right. Bringing in my pal.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
3, 2. There we go. Say goodbye, Jon Jon Bon Jovi, ladies and
Jon
gentlemen.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Love you.
He's
Wow.
just posing. He's posing right now. But if you go to Jon Bon Jovi's bar in Nashville, JBJ's Nashville, he's got two proto devices in his there it is. He's got two devices in his bar, two very long lines. One is a line just to get into the bar. It's like the hottest place in Nashville. And the other line is just so you could take a selfie with Jon Bon Jovi himself. So there you have it.
And that is what we call on The Look, David. That's The Look. David Nussbaum and Proto, it's been an absolute incredible honor to have you on the show today, to beam us all up into the present and to the future, what's happening, and how our lives are going to be that much better for all of us, whether it's seeing somebody we haven't seen for 20 years, an old friend, or our grandparent maybe who's in assisted living, or a celebrity, or even taking in some of the best of CBS's Big Brother. You are making life really incredible for us on three-dimensional planes. So we have to thank you, and we're all going to be behind you and just keeping up and looking what Proto is doing. So we hope to have you on again in the near future to keeping up to date the next step and what Proto is doing to blow everything out of their water.
Oh,
thank you so much,
you.
David. It's been a pleasure. And hey, who knows? Maybe I'll be a spokesperson for Proto. You never know in the future.
You're doing a great job. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's terrific.
Thank you, David.
For more information on Proto, go to protohologram.com.